this, if you want to or I want to change the world, is to start with ourselves, and then start with the group nearest to us, then start with the religion that we belong to, and then go further.
So that is a politician,
Yogi Adityanath.
Yeah.
He has become the CM of UP. Yes.
He's closed all the slaughterhouses.
He's closing some illegal slaughterhouses, and it's a very welcome step, because Uttar Pradesh has more than 50,000 illegal slaughterhouses. Now we have to make alternative provisions for the animals that are not going for slaughter.
It came in my mind that I think one way of changing the thing is coming together, like the spiritual leaders and the politicians, whatever, famous people also, they have big influence in the people's mind. So what do you think about that, and if there's any possibility of you do it?
No, it's a very good idea. The problem is it will never happen, because both the politicians and the religious leaders in India believe that milk should be drunk.
Yeah, in the case of the milk industry,
they simply don't see milk as non-vegetarian, and they refuse to understand the link between milk and meat.
Do you know more vegan politicians?
I know many vegetarian politicians, including the Prime Minister, but all of them drink milk. So they will feed into the meat industry. They may not eat the meat themselves, but they create the circumstances for meat.
So, what to do to bring awareness to them? How to make them aware of all the situation?
I don't know. I've been trying for 30 years and I simply don't know. I go all the time. I make speeches, I go around the country, I write for 30 newspapers. I point out all the diseases created by milk. I've even pointed out that the milk they drink is so dangerous because 80% of the cows in India, cows and buffaloes, have got leukemia. And that we have now discovered translates to leukemia in humans as well. They have something called BLV, bovine leukosis virus, and they've had it for 25 years. And in the beginning, nobody paid any attention because they thought that it didn't go to human beings. It was not zoonotic. And now they've discovered that people who have breast cancer also have BLV. So drinking milk is really dangerous. Firstly, it causes tuberculosis. It causes leukemia. It causes everything from acne to kidney failure. So even if we're not bothered about the health of the cow or the fate of the cow, at least bother about your own health. But even that is not resonating. We can only do it in India through religious leaders. So we need to persuade religious leaders to come out against milk.
Have you ever started any plan?
I've been from Jain to the monks to the Hindus. No deal.
Have you been in those milk factories?
Yes. I have an organization called People for Animals, and we work against cruelty from morning to night. We save animals. I have a Goshala of my own, in which we rescue animals taken from butchers, cows. And we have 900 cows and buffaloes.
I saw that, I think I saw something that you made a pig hospital.
I have 36 hospitals.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's really inspiring for me, because I don't think there are other people doing something like that.
No, we're the largest in the world. And we get no government support. We get no company support. We are totally dependent on local donations.
Have you ever tried to get support from the government?
Government doesn't have any scheme for support. It should have, but it doesn't.
Well, one of the methods I'm thinking to bring awareness is show what's happening in these factories. Egg, chicken, meat.
Yes.
And one of my thoughts is to visit these places and make videos and let people know. And,
The point is, you can do that, but who will show your film?
well, nowadays like Peter, they show everything.
No, Peter will show it, but who's looking at Peter? Only people who are already committed. How will you show it to a meat-eating person?
That's one of my thoughts. How can I do it?
There are no outlets, which is why we don't waste time making films. How do you show documentaries? How do you show cruelty films? The maximum you can do is put it on YouTube. But there are already 1 billion films on YouTube. And people would rather watch some moron of a Korean dancing in a funny way than watch something that makes them feel uneasy.
I am basically looking for solutions. I'm still trust that there is a big influence in these documentaries, especially if it's recommended, if you can combine speech of politicians.
If you make this film and it has many religious leaders and stuff, you should start showing it to groups of Buddhists. You know, when you have Buddhists gathering together, whether in China or in Tibet or in Burma or in Sri Lanka, you should show them at those gatherings. Out of the, say, 1,000 people watching or the 500 people watching, even if 50 people become vegetarian, they will have filmed, fulfilled their own religion, and you will have achieved a great deal. If Karmapa can change a Tibetan community, so can you, through your film. No, I think that the change will come because people like you are committed and are desperate to bring about a gentler, kinder world. Because that is the only way we will survive. If you're going to be 9 billion people on this planet, then only kindness will save it. Because if all of us are violent, then there's no space. So the best way, as I said before, is to show this at gatherings of your own religion first. Buddhism, then Jainism, with an emphasis on milk. In Burma, they don't drink milk, so it'll have to be an emphasis on meat. But if all the Buddhist temples could show this, then people would turn vegetarian. In Buddhism, the excuse taken to eat meat is a simple one. They believe that the Buddha, when he was a bhikshu and he asked for food, somebody gave him pig meat and he died of eating pig. So they have taken this incident and said, well, if he could eat pig, we can eat all meat. But the incident itself is rubbish. It's not true at all. And I'll tell you why. In any country, whether America, India or China, if a bhikshu comes to your door and he asks for alms, nobody gives meat. They give grain, they give fruit, they give flowers, whatever. But they will give something which is gentle. Even a Muslim will not give meat. Secondly, if you look at the Pali, the language in which the experiences of the Buddha were written down, it says that Buddha died because he was given the food that is fed to pigs, which is mushrooms. So he actually died of contaminated mushrooms. But when it was translated, it became, they left out food that was fed to pigs and just put pigs. And that became the excuse for many Buddhists to eat meat. Because at the end of the day, all of us human beings twist our own religions to suit ourselves. I think perhaps we could show that.